Hi, I'm Dr. Elliot Adam from ElliotOracle.com. I'm also the author of the award-winning Fearless Tarot and Tarot in Love, Consulting the Cards in Matters of the Heart. And I'm so excited that Tarot in Love has just been nominated for the COVR Awards. So I'm going to leave a link. People are available to vote for it if you've appreciated the book or you just like my approach to tarot and want to support my work. Please do vote for me, and I will put that link in the comments. It is time for this week's Oracle reveal. So yesterday on my social media, I placed up a photo of 3 different animals and I asked you to use your intuition and ask yourself which animal's calling to you, because that animal has your message. And the 3 animals were the Dragonfly, the Canary, and the Wasp. So if you're just joining me now, ask yourself which animal's getting caught in your head. It doesn't have to be your favorite animal. It just has to be the one that seems to be nagging at you today. So for those of you who picked the Dragonfly spirit, this card says truth transcends illusion. And the dragonfly is the great shapeshifter. It has those iridescent wings. And there's some myths that the dragonfly was once a dragon at one time, but fell into its own illusion. So when we're attracted to dragonfly, this is a time for you to really differentiate what's the truth and what's the illusion. What's the thing you're projecting on the thing in front of you, and what's actually happening. Sometimes dragonfly can teach us that feels like isn't always is like. Sometimes we don't trust our feelings because they can distort the facts. They can distort the truth. And so this is a week where you really want to get clear on, are these my instincts or are these my feelings? Your feelings can sometimes make you feel anxious, nervous, scared, or tight, but your instincts will make you feel sharp, clear, ready to act. And so I feel like this is a time to really listen to your deeper inner truth and not just the passing feeling of the moment. First card for Dragonfly is where it's best to place your focus this next week. And we get the Ace of Swords. And aces in the tarot are really good to get. They indicate energy, vitality, new beginnings. And in the case of the Ace of Swords, this is going to be a time where you're really feeling like seizing your power again. The Ace of Swords also has these 2, branches that are dangling off of it. We got the palm branch and the olive branch. The palm branch is representing that you're stronger than you think you are, that you're tough, sort of like a palm tree can withstand a hurricane and still stand. This card says that you're tougher than you think. And then the olive branch is a symbol for peace always. And what this is saying is that even though it's counterintuitive, even though something in front of you might be stressful this next week, if you take action on it, you're going to be bringing peace to yourself. You're going to feel a relief. And likewise, if you're procrastinating or kicking the thing down the road or avoiding it, it's actually going to disempower you this week. So even though it's uncomfortable to get up and to face that thing, Ace of Swords is telling you to have courage and to do it. It's what's going to bring you that sense of balance, and it's going to bring a positive new beginning as well. The advice from your inner wisdom, however, is the Devil card. And nobody likes to confront the devil because what he represents is our own inner shadow, our own inner saboteur. Everyone's got an angel on their shoulder, and everyone's also got a devil on their shoulder. Everyone's got that voice of like light and love and blessing and unconditional love. And everyone's got that other voice that makes you feel limited, scared, stuck. That gives you this false belief that just because things have been a certain way for so long, they're going to stay that way and that there's no hope. And yet even the figures on the devil card are wearing the chains around their neck, and the chains they wear are rather loose. They can slip out of them whenever they choose. And so I just feel for Dragonfly, this is a time where you're really shifting between truth and illusion. You're shifting between what do I choose? Do I choose my power? Do I create a new beginning? Am I proactive and courageous and bold? Or am I listening to my inner saboteur? Am I listening to that limited voice that wants to keep me scared or stuck or somehow unmotivated? I feel self-control is needed this next week for you, Dragonfly. And I also feel like you need to stand up to your own shadow and make the right choice for you, even when it's most difficult. And the mythic archetype that's going to help you this next week is Atropos. She's one of the 3 fates, and she's the fate that cuts the thread. And what she can indicate is that it's time to cut the thread to something that you've been attached to. It might be time to break the chain, the link to something that's disempowering you. there's a choice in front of you this next week. And I just feel with these, sharp swords, the scissors, there's this sense of like cutting away that which you no longer need, which is that. And so I just feel like this is a time for you to really be bold, courageous, and listen to your best self as you assess what needs to be let go of in your life this next week. It's important that you're not hanging on to illusion any longer. And next we got the Canary animal spirit, and this card says, sing your own song. And Canary is that most musical of birds. It brings the trills and the harmony. It's flute-like in its voice. And I just feel for you, if you're attracted to Canary, sound is going to be so important. It's also a time for you to sing your own song. And we have to go on and sing our song, even when we feel like we've lost it. And the Canary can say that it's time for you to get back into your music, the part of your soul that opens up. Maybe it's time to listen to some inspiring music. Maybe it's time to listen to your favorite singer or somebody that you really put on a pedestal, you really admire. Maybe it's time to draw on some of that talent, some of that strength that you're seeing in that individual and apply it to your own circumstance right now. But it's time to find your song. First, for Canary, it's where it's best to place your focus this next week. And we got the Four of Swords, which is a card of rest, peace, sometimes convalescence. The Four of Swords can also indicate that it's time for a break. It's time for some calm. Maybe there's been a lot of intensity around you and the energy's just been really uptight. Maybe you're needing to remember to breathe. Maybe you can't hear your song because you're so stressed out. You're like running between this thing to that thing to that thing. And the Four of Swords is telling you, find your peace, find your calm. So I just feel with this Four of Swords card that for Canary, you're going to find your song when things are quiet, when you can be still. I used to have a friend when she was alive. She had a little note on her dresser that she'd read every morning. And what it said was, in order to enter the temple, you must be quiet. And what I take that to mean is that in order for us to hear that deepest, most sacred part of ourselves, that inner wisdom, we need to quiet down. We need to breathe away some of the anxiety, and we need to find our centered, wise space. Next is advice from your inner wisdom, if you pick the Canary. And we get the Wheel of Fortune, which is a card of randomness. It's a very lucky card, generally speaking. It can indicate that this is a time where your luck is shifting, possibly for the better. You might find that if you've been on the bottom of the wheel for quite some time, now you're going to be rising to the top again. But for me, the wheel is also composed of two different parts. You got the rim of the wheel with those figures on the outside. Some are rising and some are falling. And what this shows as the rim of the wheel is a symbol for the external world, other people, things that we're just not in control of. And if we're constantly hitching our power to the external, to the things we don't have control over, what another person's going to do, what they're going to think of us, what random event could happen, well, we're going to be doomed to rise and fall. So there's also that hub of the wheel, the center of the wheel, which is a symbol for your center. So for Canary, I just feel like this return to the center, the return to the peaceful place within you is going to be what's most helpful for you, especially this next week. And then we got the mythic archetype that's going to help you. And here we get Cerberus or Cerberus. He is the three-headed dog, the guardian of the underworld. And yet, even though the underworld can scare us, the underworld is the place we pass through in order to find our spirit, in order to find our center. The Cerberus, the three-headed dog, he can become your best friend if you can see the value in looking in the shadow, if you can see the value of stopping, getting quiet, and examining what treasure is hiding within you in the deepest, darkest parts of your own soul. Maybe it's time to get out of the hustle and bustle of the external world and return to that calm center. And then finally, we have the Wasp spirit. And this card says, sometimes life stings. And indeed it does. You know, sometimes it has nothing to do with us being a good person or a bad person or what we've done or not done. Sometimes we get thrown a curveball. Sometimes something painful happens and it's just not fair. And you know, it's so important for us to look around at others and realize that nobody gets a free pass in this life. Nobody. Even someone you might think is in an exalted position, or somebody that you think will never had to deal with a problem in their life. You don't know what they're going to deal with in some time. You don't know the family members they're going to lose. You don't know the grief that's going to visit them. And so sometimes the WASP can teach us not just to acknowledge our own pain, the thing that stings us, but also not to make assumptions about others and what may or may not sting them. First card is where it's best to place your focus if you pick the Wasp. And we got the Eight of Pentacles, which is saying that there's a project to do. There's something that you're needing to be consistent with to finish the job. The Eight of Pentacles is a very successful card, but it's also a card of hard work, and it can get a little boring because it can indicate that you're just kind of plugging away at something, hammering away at this thing, trying to get it to be accomplished. And yet this card says that if you're diligent, if you're consistent, you're going to succeed. So whatever that project is, maybe it's even a project that you're involved in or some sort of life course change that you're trying to implement that's hurt you in the past. Maybe it stung you. And this Eight of Pentacles is saying, never give up. Just keep hammering away at that thing. Keep working at it. You will achieve your goal. Next, we got advice from your inner wisdom. And look at that. We got the Ace of Wands. And I just get this sense with the Wasp. It's like a sense of, yeah, you've been through the pain. You've been through the difficulty. But there is this important work you're doing on yourself. And there's resiliency here. The Ace of Wands is a card of inspiration and new insights. On the card, way in the distant background, you can kind of see an old ruined tower. And that's reminiscent of the Tower card. It's been shelled out. And what we see here is this new beginning, the wand coming out of the cloud, the magical wand. There's a sense of something new, and that you're not going to find your passion, your bliss in the old thing, the thing that's caused you pain before, the thing that's been a disappointment. It's important for you to follow the current of that new inspiration. This is super exciting. And also, there is a sense of urgency with the Ace of Wands. So if you're feeling inspired to act on it. Do it. And then we got the mythic archetype that's going to help you. We got a lot of underworld archetypes this next week. Here we see Hades. And Hades is the god of the underworld, much like Cerberus. There is a sense of there's treasure in the underworld. There's something hidden. I think Hades indicates the things that have ended, the things that have died, even the things that have caused pain or grief for you are also so valuable. You can see Hades here. He's surrounded by treasures, jewels. There's that symbolism that the treasures of our life, they can sometimes be found in the darkest places. What we need to realize is that the best of us comes forward when we're challenged. It's not when everything's going well. It's not when we're just enjoying our vacation that our best self really comes to the fore. It's when we're challenged, when we have a choice to really be courageous or not. And I just feel like all your experiences have led up to this point. And even if things have stung you, even if you're still grieving them, these are still valuable things. They're still great teachers, and there's treasure to be found in them. And that is this week's Oracle. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you like my approach to tarot, you'll absolutely love a one-on-one tarot session with me. I have those available at my website, elliotoracle.com. So I'd love to talk to you one-on-one and just get into your own personal issues, the things that you really want to put under the microscope. Also, I have signed copies available of my books, Fearless Tarot and Tarot in Love, on my website, elliotoracle.com. And I also have tons of free materials online for people. I know everybody can't afford, spiritual counsel and all of that sort of thing. So I like to put out things that people can find accessible, even if you don't have the resources at the moment. And so there are free tarot card meetings. There's free daily polls every day on my YouTube channel. And if you find my videos useful, please consider liking, sharing, subscribing. And for all of you who click that special thanks button at the bottom, I really do appreciate the support. It really helps grow this community. Otherwise, I hope you all have a safe and happy week. I will be in New York City at the end of the month for Reader Studio. I forgot to plug that. Tickets are still on sale, and there's also virtual tickets, so I'll put a link in the description box. I hope you all have a wonderful week, whatever you're doing, so do take care.